art lesson today, and we're going to try and make things look like they're in the real world, like 3D. Some things are going to be close and some things are going to be far away. So we start that trick by drawing an X from the corners of your page. So I'm going to draw it here for you. So take your time now. So you have to be always looking where you're going. So all the way into that corner. And then we go from this corner down to this corner. Okay, so all the way down. It doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see, mine isn't. If you wanted to get a ruler or ask your mum and dad to show you the first time, that's fine too. But just try your best, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to start my line. We're going to draw a line from this dot. This is where they meet, all the way to the edge here. All the way to the edge. Okay, so keep that line the same direction as this line. It's called parallel. And then we're going to start it again and go out to the other side. Okay. And this line, if you were down the beach and you were looking out at the sea, there's a line where the sea meets the sky, and that line is called the horizon line. Okay, it's where you can't see any further, and the two just meet. And it happens everywhere, not just in the sea, but it's just easiest to see it in the sea. So I'm going to make this into some mountains. Okay, so I'm going to have some mountains in the distance here. I'm not just doing zigzag, zigzag, zig, because I want some of them to look like they're in the front and some of them to look like they're in behind them. Okay, so that's the trick here. So just kind of upside down V's, I suppose. If we looked upside down, they'd look like V's, wouldn't they? To the tops of the mountains. Okay. Yeah, so we've got our mountains there. Now I'm going to do a little river. So it's going to be teeny tiny way back here in the horizon line, but it's going to be quite wide and big up here. So how do I do that? So here's my line that I'm kind of going to follow. It's like, when I get out to here, it's quite close, but when it's back there, we'll see it now in a second. Okay, so there's my river getting close to us. I suppose we could make it wider if you wanted to, because art is all about mistakes and fixing them. So we could kind of go, okay, or we could go even wider from here. Okay, it doesn't matter because the water's going this way anyway. And I'll be filling it in. The water's going to be rushing towards me or away from me, because that's the way a river either flows this way or this way, so it doesn't matter. Now along the banks I can put grass, and actually I'll put tall grass up here. So it's flicking up, and tall grass up here. And in the middle kind of bit, a good bit away from it, I'm going to do kind of shorter grass because it's further away. Well, put that in the river. So shorter grass there, okay? And then further away, it's just teeny tiny. Okay. Now we're going to try, because it looks a bit kind of empty out here. It could just be grass. There's lots of places that are just grass like that. But I'm going to try putting some trees in. So here's where we use the two lines here. See these lines here? So I'm going to put a line here and here. And I'm going to try and match it over here. So I just kind of slide my finger across and go up when I stop at that line. And then I'm going to go maybe here. I'm going to go straight up along the side here. So don't get tempted to kind of point yours out there, because the tree will look like it's falling over. And then I slide my finger over. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we go up along the same side. Okay, so they're pointing up into the sky. And then finally we'll go for this one here. That's the biggest tree, or well, not the biggest tree, it's just the closest to us. And I slide my finger over here. And the same idea, we stop when we get to there. Okay. Now it kind of looks like they're telephone poles or electricity wires or something like that. And they could be. This could be a road with a path beside it and cars going up and down if you wanted to. And you could have your electricity poles if you want. But this time we're going to do trees, okay? So we'll put the bottom of the tree about here. So I could just do a tree like that. Wanted to. And then the other one, same idea. Okay. They nearly look like boats as well. So if you drew a harbour here or something like that, and you can put these out there as boats, it would look just as cool. You can do lots of things with this. Yeah, this is looking. I'm going to send it off the page there. Because it's so big it can't fit in the page. Okay, so here are my trees now, okay? So now I'm going to put a little bit of detail on the trees though, especially on these ones. I'm going to leave these ones fairly plain, but I can put more detail on this one. Kind of let my hand kind of go a bit sketchy, kind of quick, because it makes it kind of makes the tree look a bit more real, I suppose. Okay, and then the same over here. Okay. The trunk has to be a bit wider, doesn't it? And usually around the bottom of a trunk, you might notice that in the park, there's some grass growing extra tall around it. So put some of that around there too. Now this is the edge of the river, isn't it? So I'm going to make that kind of rough as well, because there's riverbank is a very natural place, lots of grass, things growing. It's not a perfect smooth line. Might be some patches of mud in there as well. So then we add a little bit of detail to this one. So the further away they get, the less detail we give them. Because we can't, our eye can't really see that far. If you try going to the park and looking at the trees that are really far away, you won't be able to make out what they are. You won't be able to see the branches and things like that. You'll just see green. So I can do those much more quickly now. See the ones further away. A little bit more grass around there, and the same idea, you can just put little tufts, they're called, tufts of grass. It kind of takes away from the flat bit around the sides there, so when you colour it in green or whatever, it'll look like grass is growing there. So then we have our mountains here, so you can just pick a time. Now the sun rises over here in the morning, and it gets to the middle, it's up here when it's like the middle of the afternoon, when it's the hottest time, and then it might set over here in the west. So I'm going to just choose a kind of an evening time. The sun is about to go down, sun is about to go to bed. I'm going to put him there. So the sun isn't always up at the top of the sky. It kind of does an arc from east to west. So he's going to bed now. So now I'm going to try a few colours.